Brooklyn, Iowa bills itself as the community of flags, a place where you'll find a large display of flags from all 50 states and the 4 branches of the military. It's nestled between 2 brooks, Big Bear Creek and Little Bear Creek, and that's how the town got its name. It was home to Molly Tibbetts, a student at the University of Iowa. In the summer of 2018, she was on her summer break, and like many of the residents in this rural town, she felt safe enough to go jogging alone. July 18th would be the last time anyone would see her alive. Her mother told the local newspaper that she knew something wasn't right.
She didn't come home, and then we got a call that she didn't go to work the next day. And so I knew something was horribly wrong.
Tibbetts' disappearance sparked one of the largest manhunts in Iowa history and garnered intense media coverage. Her mother was grateful for the support from near and far.
Any information on how she was killed?
From the collective souls of all of Molly's family and friends, the efforts that have been put in from the people in this town, in this county, in this state, in this country, and across the world. We appreciate every act that has been bestowed upon us.
The body of 20-year-old Molly Tibbetts was found in a cornfield about a month after she disappeared. Autopsy results show she was stabbed to death. During the search for her, police interviewed and searched the vehicles and properties of 4 men. One was a neighbor of Tibbetts who washed his car hours after she disappeared. Another man was an acquaintance who erased his cell phone data. The third was a Nebraska man who ditched a vehicle nearby. And the fourth was a farmer with a history of stalking women. Then in mid-August, investigators focused on 25-year-old Christian Bahena Rivera. Rivera was linked to a vehicle seen on surveillance video that appeared to be stalking Tibbetts while she was jogging. Rivera is a native of Mexico and suspected of living illegally in the U.S. since he was a teenager. Police picked up Rivera on August 20th, 2018, from the dairy farm where he worked and questioned him for several hours. Investigators say Rivera eventually led them to the cornfield where they found Tibbetts' body.
It's right in the middle of the cornfield. He told us that's where we would find her. After that second set of instructions from him, she was found within a few minutes.
But Rivera's attorneys disputed the voluntariness of his confession. One of the officers admitting making an honest mistake by not reading him all of his rights pursuant to Miranda versus Arizona. After a contentious suppression hearing, the judge ruled some of Rivera's statements are inadmissible, but the evidence leading them to Tibbetts' body comes in, as does other statements Rivera made after being completely advised of his rights. Rivera is set to go on trial later this year on a charge of first-degree murder.
And Julie Grant joins us now. Julie, this one, for some time now has been getting ready for trial, and I'm sure once the world gets back to normal here, we will see it. First thing that strikes me about this case is they had 4 other suspects, and all of them really suspicious or persons of interest, people that were investigated. And my guess is probably going to hear about them during the trial.
I bet the defense will bring them up, right? They very well may bring them up to cast some doubt. And police weren't sure for some time. Remember, this massive search went on for about a month, devastating that community, making national news. Media was attention just swarming around this case. This beautiful girl disappears in what's known to be a very safe area. Well, the big break in the case was video footage. It was from a home surveillance camera, we understand, and it was able to capture Molly Tibbetts jogging and Rivera's dark Chevy Malibu following her and circling around. And we understand that video, Vinny, was really the break, what led investigators to Christian Rivera, because seeing him then on there, and of course there was a suspicion, right, about the farmer with the stalking history, all that, but that video was what was really telling. And then we understand he also admitted that was his car, too.
So let's talk about the Miranda warnings, because this is huge, right? I mean, I think most people who watch cop shows can recite the Miranda warnings, but somehow they messed them up a little bit in this case?
Oh, Vinny, it's unbelievable. Yes. I mean, what a mess this is. What a mess. And right. And you think about people who are not lawyers, children. I know some children. I can remember like being a kid and playing outside and, you play cops and robbers, whatever, and the Miranda warnings. Okay. So this officer, Pamela Romero, was assigned to question Christian Rivera when he was brought in on this case because she is a native Spanish speaker. She apparently said that she has a card with the warnings written on them, the Miranda warnings on this card. She keeps it in a backpack. But on that day, she didn't have the card with her, and she didn't know them off the top of her head. And she said it was not a ploy to get him to talk to police without a lawyer, that it was an honest mistake. And she realized later, I'm presuming when she looked at the card, because they read to him his rights again after discovering the body, that she realized, oops, I left out the part that says anything you say can be used against you in a court of law. So, of course, that was huge for the defense, right? They jumped all over this. And because there were 2 warnings given, and we're talking about less than 24 hours, I mean, days apart. And actually, if you think about the times, it might be closer to like a 6-hour window. The judge said basically any statements in that window, out. You can't use them. And prosecutors really agreed that that wouldn't be fair. But anything after he was given the complete warnings, yes, those statements come in. And then all that physical evidence, which is really the key here. The defense might have had a little battle victory, if you will, Vinny, but the prosecution really won that war because they're getting in the blood evidence from his trunk, DNA evidence belonging to Molly Tibbetts found in the trunk where he presumably unloaded her body, and then also finding her body in that cornfield. All of that will come in.
All right. I mean, if I was the officer and I don't have my card, I'd grab my phone and Google it. I mean,
right.
Really,
right.
I mean, and in a case this big, I don't understand how that happens. But all right, so some of it will be out, but the most important stuff will be in. And of course, we'll be covering this case. Julie Grant, thank you so much.
Thank you, Vinny.